Don't tick me off. Meghan goes crazy as Mariah Carey refused to join in her second episode of podcast. Meghan Markle has revealed she will speak to singer Mariah Carey on the second episode of her podcast show Archetypes, which is due to be released next week. In the first episode of the podcast, entitled The Misconception of Ambition with Serena Williams, the Duchess of Sussex, 41, spoke to the tennis legend, who is one of her close friends, about double standards women face when they are labeled ambitious. And, after revealing she plans to discuss words like diva in the series, the royal mother of two went on to say singer Mariah Carey will be her guest next week. Meghan called Mariah Carey to invite her to join the next podcast, but Mariah Carey flatly refused, which made Meghan very worried because the next podcast would be failed. It is not known if the Duchess had ever met the singer before the episode was recorded. Elsewhere, it was revealed upcoming guests during the 12-part podcast by the Duchess will include actresses Margaret Cho, as well as comedian Amanda Seales and author Alison Yarrow. Speaking at the end of the first episode, which was released today, Meghan signed off by saying, "I can't wait to chat with you again next week, when we hear from the one and only. It's a really good one. We'll see you guys next week, thanks for joining me. As ever, I'm Meghan." Meanwhile, in a teaser ahead of the series launch released today, a number of Meghan's future guests could be heard chatting. The first episode of Archetypes featured a lengthy conversation with Meghan's close friend, recently retired tennis legend Serena Williams. But the portion of the 57-minute podcast that's attracted the most media attention was the part where Meghan recalled a frightening involving her son Archie. It occurred in 2019, before Meghan and Prince Harry stepped down from their roles as senior members of the royal family. As Meghan explained on her podcast, the couple was on a royal tour of South Africa when they experienced one of the most terrifying moments of their lives. "When we went on tour South Africa, we landed with Archie," she told her audience. "We finished the engagement, and they say there's been a fire at the residence." "What? There's been a fire in the baby's room," Meghan continued. "There was no smoke detector. He was supposed to be sleeping in there." Despite the trauma that they just endured, Harry and Meghan were allegedly instructed to continue with their tour as though nothing had happened. "Everyone's in tears, everyone's shaken," Meghan recalled on her podcast. "And what do we have to do? Go out and do another official engagement? I said, this doesn't make sense. Can you just tell people what happened?" The Duchess continued. "The focus ends up being on how it looks instead of how it feels." Meghan didn't mention any of the royals by name, but obviously, the Windsor clan doesn't come out looking very good in this story. So it should come as no surprise that the usual royal defenders came out of the woodwork to accuse Meghan of either making a mountain out of a molehill, or of flat-out lying. On Twitter, Piers Morgan seethed that Meghan's victimhood knows no bounds, nor does her thirst to trash the royals while making dollar from them. So, just to get this right, the baby is, what, not even there. And because the baby wasn't there, she was going to have difficulties going to a function? "Oh my God," echoed Australian TV host Karl Stefanovic, who then suggested that Meghan grow a set. On TikTok and elsewhere, commenters accused Meghan of lying about the incident, with many doubling down on the insult by alleging that the former Suits star's lack of acting chops were on display as she shared her story.